I think that's one of the keys to really successful entertaining is get her done. If you're having a birthday party, a family reunion, a graduation party, as much as you can get done ahead of time, the better. So a lot of the dips and potato salads and things like that, hors d'oeuvres, you can get done a few days ahead. And in this case, you can do this dip 1 to 2 days ahead, not a problem. So it's a layered shrimp dip and it's absolutely delicious. So we're going to get to work on it. Ann, how are you doing? How was your weekend?
Wonderful.
Was it wonderful?
It was awesome.
Good. You're looking fantastic. Ann has been on a big workout kick and
Not a kick, it's a lifestyle.
it's not a kick, it's a lifestyle. But anyway, it's working for her and she looks fantastic. One of these days we'll get to see more than her hand. Okay, so for our layered shrimp dip, starts out with a couple of blocks of softened cream cheese, and that's something I always keep on hand in my fridge, or I try to. You've got cream cheese on hand, you've got a couple other things in the pantry, you can whip up some sort of a dip in no time. Or as mentioned, this is a great make-ahead dip. So I'm going to season up my cream cheese, which can be a little bit boring, with a little bit of garlic salt. Again, keeping in mind Mimi and what we had in the house. Back in the day, we didn't have a lot of fresh herbs and garlic, or if we did, it just wasn't as commonly available as it is now. So garlic, salt was always in my house growing up and my grandmother's house. So it's just a great way to flavor up this cream cheese a little bit and keeping it easy breezy. Worcestershire sauce is also something that I always have in my pantry and Mimi had in hers. So we're going to do a little Worcestershire sauce and some fresh lemon juice. If you didn't have a fresh lemon on hand, just a little bit of bottled lemon juice would do. And normally I'm not a big fan of bottled lemon juice, but in this recipe it would be just fine. All right, so I'm going to start mixing that. And hey, by the way, have you started reading our latest book club book? It's fantastic. I dove into it over the weekend. It was one of those chill out weekends. Actually, Bob and I went up to the cottage. Ireland's away at summer camp in New York, dropped her off about 10 days ago. I got my first phone call and email from her yesterday. I was getting a little panicked. She's at a musical theater camp in New York, and she's there for almost a month, which is just so weird to have her out of the house and not have my sidekick around. But they take away all their electronic devices, which, you know what, is a really good thing, so that they can really focus on, dance and music and theater and the stuff that they're doing at this camp. But being a worried, nervous, ninny mom, I leave my daughter in New York for 3 weeks, and I hadn't heard from her. They are allowed to call us 3 times over the course of the month, and they also are allowed to email us every once in a while from a central computer that they have, I guess not their own personal, but at the camp. Well, I heard nothing, and I was starting to get a little bit nervous. Well, finally yesterday, I got an email, and then shortly after a phone call, and she said she's having the time of her life, that their computer really wasn't working really well, but they got it all straightened out, and anyway, all is good. So it was like, whew. Bob and I both took a huge, I know it's like so wonderful for her, but it's a little hard having your 14, I guess she's 15 now, 15-year-old away for a month. So anyway, Bob and I went up to the cottage, and it was so weird not having the kids around. It was weird, but it was nice. Well, we hung out with a couple of our friends up there and played some tennis and took some walks, and it was lovely. Okay, so, and I did some reading. Well, Bob was doing all the yard work and all that stuff, we didn't, well, he loves doing that, and then when you're not at the cottage a lot, when you're there, you got chores to do. I actually cleaned and, did a lot of vacuuming, vacuumed up. Well, Ann says great vacation. We got to do some of that stuff. All right, book club. So the book club book we're reading that I was so excited, I curled up on the porch and sat in the sun, and it was wonderful. It's by Sue Monk Kidd. She's a very famous author, most famous for her book called Secret Life of Bees. Well, she's got a new book out. It's getting rave reviews, and it is a page turner. My mother-in-law told me about this book, and I absolutely love it so far. So here is the book. The Invention of Wings. Go get the book or get it on your Nook or your Kindle or whatever. You've got plenty of time to get reading, and then join us for our book club meeting at the Bottle Room in Swamico. They provide snacks. We just get to hang out and have some refreshments, and hopefully we'll maybe even be able to do this next book club meeting outside. But call today to reserve your spot. It is going to be a blast, and I think you'll really enjoy this book. Okay, back to the shrimp dip. I just want to beat this until it's nice and smooth. And I want to get all the lumps and bumps out of the cream cheese. If you have the cream cheese at room temperature, it really helps with that. Okay. Perfect. Oh, you know what? Did I put my milk in there? I was so busy talking. Just a tablespoon or two of milk. We happen to love our Lamer's milk, and that's going to help thin it out just a little bit. In fact, now that the kids are out of school, take them to Lamer's and go get an ice cream cone, and they can see how it's all done. See that milk just doesn't come from the grocery store. They've got this whole observation window, and you can actually watch them. Pretty cool to see. Okay. So at this point, I'm going to take my dip and get it into a pretty pie plate or a pretty small casserole dish, whatever you've got. We also have a brand new big night out coming up. Super excited about it. If you were at our last big night out, you know how much fun they are. So in just a few minutes, we're going to tell you the details of our next big night out. The menu looks fantastic. And it's always fun to get out in the summer, get dressed up a little bit, go have a wonderful meal at a local restaurant that really pulls out all the stops. So we've got the menu and the details of where we're going coming up in just a few. We're going to make you wait a few minutes. Okay, so spread out that cream cheese. That's been flavored up with the garlic salt, the Worcestershire sauce, a little bit of lemon juice, and a little bit of milk just to thin it out. Don't be afraid. And all of my chef friends, which I learned so much from, they always have clean kitchen towels in their kitchen, and before a lot of the plates come out to you, they will wipe the side of the plate. Don't be afraid to do that at home or if you're entertaining. Okay. Now, here's something else my grandmother kept on hand in her pantry. Chili sauce. This is kicked up ketchup, and a lot of people aren't really familiar with it. You'll find it right in the ketchup aisle at the grocery store. And it's just basically like a ketchup, but it's got some, added spices and added flavor to it. And it really is delicious with shrimp. So basically I got my chili sauce, and I'm going to make it like a homemade cocktail sauce with some horseradish sauce. I love spicy horseradish sauce, so it depends on how spicy you want it. 1 to 2 tablespoons of horseradish sauce along with that chili sauce. This is going to have a little bit of kick, but again, what's going to mellow it out is the cream cheese. So we're going to take some of the chili sauce with the horseradish sauce. Now, if I were going to make this ahead of time, I'd kind of keep it separate. I'd get the cream cheese mixture out of the way, park that in a container. You could also do the chili sauce and the horseradish in another container and then assemble it a few hours before your get-together if you're making it ahead of time. And I like to see a little bit of the cream cheese on the sides, and I don't want to mix this together. This is a layered dip, so you don't want to mix the layers together, and that's part of the charm of the dip and what makes it look so pretty. All right. Now we've got the shrimp. Here's another thing I love about this recipe. This is just frozen shrimp that's pre-cooked, and I've got it in my freezer. You need to, throw together a dip at the last minute, pull a handful of it out. You don't need a whole ton for this recipe. Throw it under running water, just pat it dry with paper towels. It thaws out in no time. No cooking, don't have to do it. It's already done for you. You could even use the canned shrimp if it's more in your budget. We don't need a lot of it, but it's a nice way to serve seafood at a get-together without spending a ton of money. So just a little shrimp, or if you've got bigger shrimp, just chop it up a little bit. I love seafood. I love entertaining with seafood, but it can be a little pricey. So this is a great way to do it and keep it, in the budget. And then the last finishing touch is going to be right before serving some chopped scallions or chopped parsley, just a little bit of green to decorate up the top. And then one thing that we always have on hand, especially at the cottage, is some nice crackers. Always keep plenty of those on hand so you can pull out some cheese, grapes, a dip like this, and you are good to go. So I'm just going to chop up some scallions or flat leaf parsley, just for a little pretty green color on the top. And there you go. Talk about easy entertaining. Everyone loves this. Every time I make it, they ask for the recipe. And I think one of the secrets is really flavoring up that cream cheese and then adding the horseradish to, there's lots of dips like this, but this one kind of takes it to the next level with the horseradish in the chili sauce and then that really nice flavored cream cheese. There you go, my layered shrimp dip recipes on the website. Coming up, lots more ideas when it comes to entertaining the easy way. Plus, we've got the details on our next big night out. More appetizer recipes and more fun stuff ahead. Last-minute decorating ideas, too, for your get-together. So stay with us. We'll be back.